In today's boxing tutorial, I want to teach you about positioning. I want to teach you different handed fighters, where you want to be if you are positioning yourself to score shots, to throw knockouts, and also to avoid danger. I want to give you some insights to just becoming a harder target. And again, just this information can be really valuable to beginners and even more advanced fighters. So let's get into the video. First and foremost, as you can see here, we have a pair of shoes. We're using this as visuals. I love visuals, and this here is an excellent way to understand where we need to have our positioning. Now, this is going to be your typical boxing stance. Everyone's going to be different. Every fighter's going to be different. But softening them knees, we don't want to be straight up. We want to soften them knees. We want to be rocking onto the ball of the foot. We don't want to be up too high. We don't want to be like this here, of course, because then we're not going to have balance. So we want to find a nice rhythm between being on the ball of the foot, and at any stage we can become more flat-footed, so we can throw hooks and we can have them legs and hips, thrown into the punches. So that's our basics. Then what we want to establish is where we need to be. So if you're a pressure fighter, like I says, you might find that you become more square on. But I would advise, especially as a beginner, try to make yourself a harder target. Turning that left shoulder in if you are an orthodox, if you're a right-handed fighter. So turning that left shoulder in. What we want to be avoiding is we want to be avoiding that big right hand. As a beginner, I see a lot of beginners and amateurs doing this here. They're very square on, they leave their chin up in the air, and they walk on to a big right hand over the top, nasty stuff. And a lot of beginners are going to be really back heavy, so they're really going to have a big club and right hand. So we want to avoid stepping onto that right foot, and using this visual will definitely help. We want to try to establish a good jab. We want to be moving off onto that left side. We can work angles from there. But if we're using the jab, stepping in, stepping off to that side, and as you become more advanced, of course you can step on the other side. You can set up, trick shots, you can step off. If they throw a shot, you can step there. We can also roll the shoulder. We can duck under a straight right. We can roll, come in with the left. And as we become more advanced this here, we'll set up more angles. But we want to be stepping away from that big right hand, especially if we're being square on, walking into something. Now, if you fight a southpaw fighter, this is going to change. So now we can use the pair of shoes here as a visual again. So a southpaw fighter is going to be big left hand, and quite the opposite now. So we don't want to be stepping onto that big left hand, because that's going to be their backhand, their strong hand. So we want to be stepping off. We want to dominate this side. So we want to dominate that right foot, stepping outside that foot. We can come down the middle with the right hand, left hook over the top. We can throw the jab, stepping that foot out, jab, stepping that foot out, coming in, left hook, right hand. Okay, but if we find that we start to come onto this side, that's where we're going to be opened up with that big left hand. We're going to walk onto that dangerous shot for them, and we're not going to be able to dominate the fight. So we want to dominate that fight. We want to get outside that foot, throwing straight right hands, left hook down the middle. And again, using these visuals will really, really help. It helped me massively. Get skipping more often. Practice more footwork drills. Footwork is key. As I started to become more advanced as a fighter, I started understanding that footwork is key. It's not all about having the big shot. It's about understanding distance, controlling the fight, and